I have a lot of team members who are talking about their business and they're having lots of recruit leads, which is wonderful. And the first step, of course. But they're having a really hard time sealing the deal. And so I'm asking them to allow me to get involved so they can see what I do, because that's not been a problem for me. I don't know what I'm doing exactly, but I'm trying to get them to watch and see.
Confidence.
Maybe. But what can we do other than bringing them in and having them watch us go through that interview process? Do you have any other tips? Sometimes the schedules can't work, or they're hesitant to want to bring another person in sometimes because they don't want to seem pushy. That's
Right.
what
Yes.
They don't know enough.
they don't know enough. They're afraid I'm gonna, I don't know.
When people sign up, I ask them to be on my Just Share team. Just Share. And what I ask them to do is to always share the Pampered Chef opportunity with freedom and passion, so that you let people know that we are bringing people on and people are succeeding. And then what you say is, I'd love for my friend, Nancy Jo Ryan, to talk to you about all your questions, because she's the person who talked to me. Okay? And then you have a three-way call or three-way meeting, or maybe once a week. If you've got enough people doing this, you'll say, you know, on Thursday evenings, I'm going to be at the Starbucks. Bring any of your potential recruits, okay? And they don't even have to use the word recruit, and they don't even have to recruit them if they really don't want to recruit them, okay? But what I like to do is I say, you know, it's not hard. I'm going to train them anyway. I'm going to have the meetings anyway, so why don't you see what it's like to have a recruit or two under you? So I put them underneath them, but I do the work. But I always have them on the phone calls, you know, so I train them. Along the way, with training them how to recruit, I'm training them how to train. So that by the fourth or fifth one, when they're ready to become a director, they're so there. And if they're not, they don't do it. It's fine, but they're still sharing the opportunity, because I always let people know, you don't know what anybody's story is in the room that you're facing, and you may be the answer to a prayer that day. Someone may just need $300 more a month. Do you know that the average bankruptcy in the United States just needs $300 more a month? I want to go put my cards down at the bankruptcy board, because I want to say, I can help you. Because people are saying, I already work a full-time job, or I can't get a job, or I don't have any skills. How am I going to make another $300, you know? So what it ends up coming down to is, if you do one show a week, I can guarantee you, just 4 hours out of your life. One less night of TV, okay? And you'll have that $300 to $400, no problem, okay? So I just encourage people to just share, because you may be the answer to someone's prayer. We needed Christmas money. You know, it was as simple as that. I'm so glad my friend talked to me. So thankful. It's changed my life forever. Yes, Erin.
That's a good thing too, because I have people that will share, but then they're not interested in the training, you know, in being a director, but they see the benefit that it could be somebody else's thing. And then I have these people that join under that person, and it's like, well, why am I not getting any assistance from them, and you're doing all the work? So would you just say, you know, like, some people are, you know, what do you say to that new team member that's like, well, why isn't my recruiter doing anything? Why are you doing all the work? You know, so they don't feel negative about that.
Well, and I would just explain their situation, that, you know, maybe they work full-time, but I'm the trainer, I'm the director, and it's my responsibility.
And that we all just share, I guess.
Yes, we all just share,
like
we're all in this together. And when you don't know the answer to a question, you know, you can always come to me, and if I don't know the answer, I have places to go for the answers. It's a beautiful thing. Right. And there's always the passing by policy.
Yeah. And that happens.
And that happens,
Yeah,
you know.
that happens.
And if they really don't connect with their recruiter, and the recruiter's not doing their job, they can always pass it by.
I'm not familiar with passing by policy.
Passing by is when you have, say Nancy was my recruit, she recruited Laura. Well, Nancy hasn't done really anything. Laura just fell in her lap, all that kind of good stuff. And Laura says, I want to become director. And Nancy's not at a director level. She can recruit and actually pass Nancy by. It's the only time we can pass by in our business. Nancy has 3 months after Laura becomes a director to catch up, and then Laura would go back underneath her. But if she doesn't do that, then she becomes permanent to the upline.
Right, right. I just never heard it called that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, which, you know what, that happens. You know, some people just aren't interested in leadership,
Right.
and that's okay. If they're not interested in leadership, it means they're not interested in the paycheck either, right?
Mhm.
And it is, we're in this together, we have such a wonderful team spirit, and a sharing spirit, but that doesn't come very often in other companies. I gotta tell you guys, it just doesn't. And it does, and it crosses over generation, I mean, not even just in generations. Like when we go to the national meeting at the Chairman's Circle, everybody's sharing everything that they're doing with each other, and it's fabulous. I mean, yes.
One thing I wanted to say on that, I came from a predominantly male environment, and I was a little nervous coming into a female, like, catty type. I really was, and actually your gal last night said the same thing. I did the new consultant training at my house last night, and one of Trish's people was there, and she said I was so scared. I thought it was going to be awfully catty, and everyone would be really mean to me, and it's been so sharing. I can't believe that you would give me your card, and I could call you if I couldn't get you. I'm like, yeah, that's how we go. And I was scared of the same thing. That's what I talked about at Brock and the Chef. I really thought it was going to be vicious.
High school.
And it's been amazing at how much sharing at every single thing I've been to, not just, I mean, here locally, we're so lucky, but at launches and at leadership conferences. I mean, I've worked in a lot of different job areas. You do not see that at all.
You don't. And you know what, we're really no different than the corporate world in some aspects. And like if someone ever says to you, oh, is it a pyramid? Well, first of all, pyramids are legal. Okay? I start out with that, so no, we're not a pyramid. But secondly, every company, the CEO makes more than the vice presidents, who makes more than the general managers, who makes more than the department heads, who makes more than the clerks and the assistants. It's the same way here. You're paid for your knowledge, you're paid to do a job in the same way they're paid to do a job. Okay? So Pampered Chef doesn't do any advertising. We are their advertising budget. Okay? So that's where that recruiting and sales thing comes in. But don't let anyone ever make you feel less worthy, because really if they knew how much you did for how much you were paid, they'd want that job too. You know, I mean seriously, but you know, when you think of how hard, I worked in the corporate world, in the accounting world, and you know, I would put in 50, 60-hour weeks at the end of the month, every month. It didn't matter. And was I paid for 60 hours? Absolutely not, you know. We have freedoms here, and that I think especially your generation loves the fact that they can stay home with their children. They can have a business, because you guys were brought up saying, I can have a business. I just want you guys to know the opportunity that's before you is amazing, and the fact that a lot of you are military, you can use it to your benefit of starting in different places. Like Nancy said, she would leave a team wherever she went.
I love what Nancy says too, that combats, it's like work harder for yourself than you would somebody else.
Absolutely.
You know, and that really combats the people when they say, you know, but it's so hard to do this, you know, because it's only on you, and people think that that's difficult. But it's like you're working less hard than you would for somebody else, and it's for yourself.
And if someone put 4 hours of time into their business every day, you would blow the numbers out of the water. It just would, absolutely.